Today I'll be reviewing my Sabatier 10-inch chef's knife that I purchased online. Going to post the link in the description of this video here where I bought it. I believe it was about $130. One of my favorite knives overall. Very classic. Classic design, high carbon steel, made in France. This is a black wood handle with brass rivets, and it has a bolster on it that continues. This is one forged piece of steel. Handmade, which means they aren't the most precise blades that you can buy. I believe the Japanese chef's knives are, as far as that goes, and some of the German knives are very precise in their specs. Like I said, it's high carbon, which gives it this patina, which is desirable or not desirable. It depends. I'll show you some of the things, some of the ways that it affects the food that you work with, and how the food affects the blade. As far as the knife itself, holds an edge pretty well, as long as I would use this in a restaurant setting. I've done everything from farm to table type cooking in a fine dining situations to line cook where we're doing high volume and I'm slicing meats on a regular, and using this as one of my primary tools in my prep. So I got a lot of use. So like I said, as far as the edge, it holds an edge pretty well. I would come through probably every day and hone it before I began my prep, and then before service started. So it's definitely, it's still razor sharp. When I would sharpen this, I'd use actually, so the factory edge on this wasn't really the best. I had to kind of bring it to something to work with, which took a lot of work. I took when I started, I used this stone. It's a Norton stone, which I picked up at Home Depot, and they don't sell Norton anymore where I'm located. But this is a coarse side, and then there's a fine side. I believe this is around like 200, 220 grit maybe. This, I'm not sure exactly what that is, but I had to work the edge for a little while with that. Some people soak their stones. I don't know if that's sacrilege or anything, but it doesn't really bother me. I know my knives are sharp. So I use that to start it, and then I have this is about 1,000 grit, and then I've used some Japanese stones where you have the 6,000, and I've polished the edge, and it slices nicely. Paper, everything else. I mean, I do a paper test where I slice the paper and I listen to see if it has if there's any hiccups, any nicks in the blade, or if it's a smooth cut. And as far as the 6,000, I found that it's really nice on the paper test. But as far as anything between 1,000 and 6,000, you don't see any difference really with the food. Maybe if you're doing sushi or something that requires very fine slicing, I wouldn't use this actually. But you know, I'm sure 6,000 is a preferred grit for the stone. Excuse me. But anyway, so back to this blade here. Out of the factory, out of the box, it required a good deal of working to get it to where I'd be happy with, you know, using it on a daily. I've had this now for over about a year, and it has seen some pretty significant amount of time in use. So this patina can go away. You can scrub it away with one of the green scrubbies, and it brings it to about this sheen. Unfortunately, I've wiped away the Sabatier logo, which was probably about right here, the 5 stars and all that. But so when I'm saying that this is lax in precision, like in comparison to a lot of the German blades or some of the Japanese blades, what I'm talking about is this blade is actually wavy. There's a slight wave to it. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, but if I kind of, let me see if I can focus. If you look down the blade, once again, I'm not sure if you can see that, but it kind of starts this way here, and then it bends out this way and kind of comes back. So that makes sharpening kind of annoying. I took on an unorthodox method, I guess. I would take the stone to the blade like this, as opposed to your traditional way with knives. With most of my knives, I do, you know, I run the knife along the stone, but this makes it very difficult to actually sharpen it like that. You'll get high spots here. You can kind of see it as like right here, that looks like a high spot in the blade. And then as the edge goes down, here's a lower spot where it kind of pitches or it bends that way. And then back to kind of leveling out. Same thing now, you'd see the reverse over here. You'd see about a higher spot here, a lower spot there, and a higher spot here, and then it would come down. So the blades on these are wavy. It's like I said, it's a $130 knife. I love it. I love it because it's a classic. I love it because it's no frills. It's just you know, a chef's knife. And it does the job. It does everything you want it to do. And at the same time, it looks kind of badass. You know, with the way, if you like, you know, you like rugged style blades, this has a very refined look, but at the same time, you know, patinas. So, you know, that might be desirable.